Hi book lovers, it's me, Christal Laird, your Usborne consultant. I wanted to do a quick video on this page just to kind of introduce myself. We have some new faces. I'm starting to reach outside of my friends group, and it's friends of friends of friends, so I'm super excited for all the new people I have been able to meet and that you guys are all here on this journey to learn more about these books. And so I just wanted to give a quick background about myself and why I love Usborne and why I especially love these books and why they're important to me. So, I hope you enjoy this. So I actually hated to read growing up. Surprise! The secret's out. I grew up with a reading disability, and sometimes I actually still struggle with reading. It's really hard for me to do. So that's one reason I like children's books, because usually I can read the words a little bit easier than adult chapter books. And it's taken me a long time to foster a love for reading, but I'll get there. So starting out as a child in elementary school, and all throughout high school, I was in special reading classes. And those were kind of hard because people, other kids knew that you couldn't read, or I got made fun of, and I remember crying and going to the nurse's office just because I didn't want to, be around the other kids who were making fun of me. It was just really hard to process as a young kid and just not understanding. And looking back, I've realized there were probably about 4 things that led to me having a hard time with reading. And the first one was that we had no books in our house. Surprise! How can you love reading if you never are exposed to books? And so I encourage you, I'm sure if you're already on this page, you've already placed an order, or you're thinking about ordering, or you already have books in your house, but get as many books in your house as you can. It doesn't matter if you have 20 or 200, they're amazing, and they'll only help your child work on their reading, and then their imagination, and their knowledge, and just to foster that love of reading. Have your own little home library, as big as you want, but just never stop letting it grow because it will only benefit your child more in the long run. The second thing is that no one read to me, and then having a disability and learning and not being able to learn to read or getting words mixed up, it's hard to sit down and read yourself because you're discouraged and you don't even know if you're reading it right. And so you're doing just a lot of context clues and you're skipping words, which really, it's great to do that, but it's not helping you pick up on those words you've already missed. So I encourage you to sit down with your children, read to them, try to do it at least 20 minutes a day. Sometimes that's a little harder with younger kids. I know my daughter's 15 months and she has a lot of energy and bouncing off the wall, but when they're really young, you can count finger play and rhyming or singing as part of that reading because they're getting exposed to that vocabulary. So that's really nice for the younger ones because I know sometimes it is harder to sit still. But just always read to them, help them love it, and that bonds you two together closer too, so it's a win-win for everyone. The next thing that kind of I've noticed in my past life is I never saw my parents read. I remember talking with my mom a couple weeks ago about this and just kind of my journey through life with reading and now my journey through Usborne and my passion for it and how much I love these books and just what it fosters for kids. And I was telling her about how I never saw her read, or just I've always assumed she just didn't like to read, or maybe she didn't read as well herself. And then she told me that she loves reading and she loves books, and she especially loves children's books, and maybe that's where I got my love for it. She works in a daycare, and she said her dream job would be to work in a children's library, which I now understand why she says that, because it's so much fun to get to see these little kids' eyes light up when they, get a book, especially like a little kid with a touchy-feely book, and they touch it and it comes to life for them and they can really see how much, and bond with it. So it's really great. So I'm with you, Mom. I'll work with you in a library one day. And so make sure your kids see you read, whether you're reading the back of a cereal box during breakfast to see the calorie count, or you're reading the newspaper, or you're reading your own book for fun, especially the summer while you're on vacation. You're sitting at the beach, read a book while your children builds a sandcastle, and then they can associate, this is really fun for me to build a sandcastle and to be out here in the sun and sand, but, Mom's reading a book. Maybe that's something really fun to do too. So you reading and them seeing you read really helps them process that it's nothing to be scary about and that it's fun and exciting and you get to enter this whole new imagination world and just learn new stuff. And then the fourth thing is I never went to a library, and I was really scared. Maybe went a couple times my whole life, but we never went to bookstores. I actually never went to a bookstore probably till I was an adult, and I was really scared to be in there because I didn't know how it worked or what books were. It was a really weird experience. So make sure your child does not experience that because it's a weird one. But take them to the library, take them to a bookstore, let them look through the shelves, teach them how it works. I'm still trying to figure out the library system myself. It's a little confusing. Or teach them how to use the computer to look up what book they're looking for. Find an author they really like and then tell them that, this author writes this great book, but he also writes these other great books. So show them how to look that up. But just teach them all of that goes with it too. And then they won't be scared, kind of like how I was, because it's not a fun feeling. So I had this terrible experience growing up, and then, as with anything in life, you have a defining moment that kind of changes things. And for me, that was a couple years after I graduated high school. I was around 19, and I was in the military, and I was at a training, and we had these tests and things that we had to do, and then in between, while the computer system was grading them, it kind of took a really long time, and so the only thing we could really do was read it, and I was like, really? Great. I don't like reading, I can't read, I'm just going to sit here bored forever. And so a couple days I would just doodle on my paper, but I'm not a really good drawer, so that kind of got boring really fast. And so my friend recommended a book for me. And I was like, sure, I have nothing else to lose. Might as well pick it up and read it. And I started reading it, and I was hooked. I was like, no, take longer, computer. I have to finish this chapter. And I learned that there were just books that I hadn't found yet that I loved. My mom has this saying on her bookshelf at home. It's something to the fact of everyone's a reader. Some just haven't found the book that they love yet. And I think that's so true. And it dawned on me, now looking back in life, that that was me. I hadn't found something that pulled me in and just caught my imagination and grasped my interest. And so keep looking for that for your child if you haven't found it yet. I know we have a lot of reluctant readers today, especially with technology. It's a lot more fun to play video games than to read a book, except when you have Usborne books because they're so interactive. So a lot of our books are great for reluctant readers. So definitely let me know if that is you, and I will work with you, and we'll try to find what your child likes, so we can get a topic that they will love and really come back to. So that's when I started reading. I was around 19. At 19, actually, I finished on my own reading my first chapter book, which was a really big accomplishment for me because I would just always get discouraged and wouldn't finish them before, but this one I finally found what I loved, and thus, from then on, I've realized that I'm more drawn to history. I saw this book in the video, but I love non-fiction books, especially history books, so I read a lot of that topic, so I'm actually really excited, and I bought that book for myself, which is really great. I'm going to make another video about that one, though. Yes, I'm making sure I've hit all my points I was trying to make and not ramble on, because this is not as short a video as I was trying to make, but that's okay. You're getting to know the real me. I ramble. And so I just want to recap real quick of those 4 things to do to help your child be a reader, because the last thing I want to do is have another little girl sitting in class crying because she doesn't understand why she can't read, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I wanted to hit on. Why Usborne? I want everyone to know that reading is nothing to be scared of. That's exciting, that it's this new world you can get involved in, and to be able to read. And I love that a lot of our books not only foster a love for learning and are very interactive, but they're great to help you learn to read. We have our first reading series, and it starts with the child reading just a couple words all the way to the 15th book. When they get to the end, they're reading the whole book by themselves. And I feel like that was the one book that set me on track with Usborne. I saw that book and I was like, if, kindergarten Christal saw this book, she would be so much better. The pictures are bright, the words are fun, the stories are cute. So I recommend that book to everyone. It's great if you have a child that's starting to read. And I want everyone to know they can do it, and they can love it, and they can enjoy it, and it can bless them in the rest of their lives, so they won't be scared. Especially when you get up into school and you're doing that popcorn reading where they pick on a friend to read. That was my worst nightmare in school. I'd rather have the flu and be home than have to do popcorn reading. And so I don't want anyone else to have to feel that way. So the things you can do real quick is have books in your home. As many, and have them in different rooms, not just all in your child's room because they don't spend all their time in that room. Have some in the living room, have some by the dining room table, have some definitely in the car. We have some near the bathroom, so when my daughter's taking a bath, we have this little ducky book that she loves to read. So have them everywhere, and then switch them out regularly so that they are experiencing new ones every time they're in a different place. And then read to your child. Don't let them just play by themselves. But even as they get older, there's a that's a hard word to say. Saying that by around 4th grade, adults stop reading to children, and the interest level of reading goes down. And so it's so important that even as they get older, bedtime stories don't have to be for just toddlers and little kids. Like, I would love if someone came and read me a bedtime story before I went to bed, Maybe not, that's not my owl, maybe something a little bit more in depth, but, read to your child no matter what the age is. They'll appreciate it, and it will have a bond between you and your child that, will last forever, and you'll love it. Then also, let them see you read. And then another one that I forgot to talk about is believe in them. So if you have a child that was kind of like me growing up where they struggle with reading, when I was in my reading classes, the teachers just assume, we'll just teach her these basic stuff. Like, they'll never get to, what the normal class is doing. And so I felt like no one really believed that I could get there, that I could get to be at the normal reading level or beyond what my reading level should be. So believe in your child. Teach them, work with them, be patient with them, and just let them know that they're there and they can come to you if they struggle or if they need help or if they're reading on their own and they're like, Mommy, I don't know what this word is. Take the time, takes 2 seconds to be like, okay, let's sound it out together, let's help, and encourage them and tell them, share that love so they can love it too. And I think that's all I have. So that's just a little bit about me. Sorry, it's kind of choppy. I'm a little scatterbrained and crazy, but I'm crazy about these books, and I really hope that you can be too. I seriously want them all in my own home, and I really want them all in your home too. I'm 100% here to help you so you can get these books in your house, and especially if you want to host a party, because that's usually the best way to get as many books as you can without paying full price. Although a lot of them are really affordable, great prices for all the information you're getting, and so that's another reason I love them. But yeah, if you want to help me on my journey of spreading literacy knowledge and helping get these books in other houses, I would love to have you on my team and help sell these books. They are amazing. They sell themselves, as you probably have seen. So just comment below or write me a message or tag me in a post or whatever. But I'd love to help answer any questions you guys might have or help you find books or just get to know you guys better. So if you want to comment below something about yourself or how much you love reading or what kind of when reading took off for you or anything that you want to say, I'd love to get to know you and your children better. And so I hope you guys have a great day and a great 4th of July weekend, and remember to read to yourself and to your children. I hope you guys have a great day. Happy reading!